Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled Don't Mess with My Grandma, Karen. The denotations of the people involved are pretty obvious, so I am not going to list them. Summary: Grandma with Alzheimer's puts Karen in her place. My grandmother has Alzheimer's, so she often doesn't know where she is or who is with her. I know for a fact that she has no idea who I am, therefore I make an effort to call her Grandma multiple times in any sitting or activity we participate in. Recently, I noticed she needed her hair and nails done as the color in both those areas was fading or chipped. So I made an appointment with a family member who owns a beauty salon and took her there. Normally, customers or those waiting for someone sit in the front area and rarely accompany a person they came with inside the actual salon floor. So, I understand why assumptions were made, but still, don't mess with my grandmother. I was on the salon floor with my grandmother, sitting in a seat in front of her, while my cousin colored her hair. I was there to make sure to keep her calm and engaged while her hair and nails were being done. She was telling me the same story she had told me 10 times in the last 10 minutes, bless her heart, when I felt someone behind me. Now we were in the farthest corner of the room, not near a bathroom or wash station, so there was really no reason someone should be behind me. My grandmother stops talking and looks behind me. Grandma, chipper as ever, hi. Are you another grandchild? Karen, no I am not. And why are you not working? There is a line over there. Me, upon realizing she is talking to me, say over my shoulder, I don't work here. Karen, now I can believe that. You are on the floor, which means you work here. She's talking to me condescendingly and I do not take that sort of tone well. Neither does my grandmother. In a moment of clarity, I watch that bright chipper smile fall and a glimpse of my brainiac grandmother peek through. I shoot a warning glance at my cousin who is pursing her lips to keep from laughing prematurely. Grandma, well, by your own logic my dear, you must be a worker. Go get me a new Coke, would you? That's a good honey bunch. Karen starts sputtering and my grandma laughs, the chipper look returns to her face and she says, hi, are you one of my grandchildren? As Karen stomps off in her loud high heels, my grandma turns and says, loudly, I guess not. My grandchildren are not idioties. Quote. Oh my god, I love my grandma. I don't know where Karen went, I wasn't really paying attention after that. The next story is titled, I Laughed in a Woman's Face. I was in Sephora on Thursday afternoon looking for presents for my sisters. I had my wallet, phone, and items in my hands and I was wearing earbuds. I cut a lady off when turning out of an aisle, so I apologized and smiled before starting to walk away. A few seconds later she's right next to me and staring straight at me, so I took out an earbud and said, excuse me? She asks if I work there and I say, no, sorry. I start to put my earbud back in, I take my podcasts very seriously, when she looks me dead in the eye and says, well fine then, idiot. Before I knew what was happening I let out a snort of laughter. It started in my nasal passage and ended in the back of my throat. She was shocked. I was shocked. It was loud and unexpected. Fortunately, if you've ever been in a Sephora, you know the employees are on you like a bloodhound. I just kept laughing as an employee escorted her away. IDK if it was the week I'd had, the stress of the upcoming holidays, or me being desensitized due to lurking on this sub, but that laugh was one of the most therapeutic things to happen to me in a while. Bless you, Sephora Karen. The next story is titled, Okay lady, I'll load your 12 bags of mulch for you. At a local big box hardware, plumbing, gardening, etc. store, let's call it Blows, picking up a few bags of topsoil for my garden. As I'm loading the back of my truck, some woman drives up to the loading area and tells me, as soon as you're done with that one I need you to load up my order. She then shoves a receipt at me and gets back into her SUV where she promptly gets on her phone and starts chatting away. I plan on finishing up my load and leaving, but while I'm working I can hear her on the phone. Ugh, this store hires the laziest people, the kid they have doing the loading is so slow, so on and so forth. Okay lady, we will do it your way. I load the back of her SUV with the wettest nastiest bags of mulch I can find on the piles, being sure to stack them neatly in the back. And also being sure that I slash the back of every bag open with a box cutter. Tell her she is all loaded and hand her back her receipt. Have a good day, ma'am. Took you long enough, didn't it? She slams her door and drives off. Not as long as it's going to take her to clean 480 pounds of moldy wet mulch out of the back of that SUV when she gets home. The next story is titled, No, I Still Don't Work Here. I really debated telling this story, but it is what it is and my so approves, so what the hell. Yesterday I was at the red-themed big box store. In fact, it was a super bullseye, meaningless fact. All of our Christmas shopping is done. My so and I were picking up some knick-knack gifts, so hard to shop for those on Amazon, and a few groceries. I was just browsing and my arm gets grabbed and I'm spun to face this older man. I immediately recognize Bob, not his real name. Hi, Bob. I interrupted his tirade that I mostly didn't hear, fully deaf on the right, 80% on the left. I see you've still got the scar on your cheek. As I'm saying this, Bob turns pale as a ghost and then runs away. No exaggeration of the term run, either. Fast as he could go. Why? That's the more interesting part. Several years prior to this, I was in this same store, during the same time of year. Now while yesterday, I wearing this make your eyes bleed Christmas sweater, when Bob and I first met I was wearing a nice Hugo Boss pantsuit. Also, I was as deaf then as I am now. At any rate, I was putting one of those really fancy crock pots that did everything back on the shelf. My mum knew I was wanting one for our kitchen, so I would hold off for now, and if we didn't get one for Christmas, I'd probably be able to find one super cheap in an after-Christmas sale. So, I turned and started to push my cart along and my ponytail got grabbed and yanked hard. Thankfully, it was more discomfort than outright pain. I turn and this guy lets go of my hair. So there is this guy, he's about 6 feet 2 inches, I'm 5 feet 4 inches, by the way, mid-50s, expensive clothes and jewelry. Facing him, I could make out what he's saying. M is me. B is Bob. B, idiot, how ducking dare you ignore me like that? If I had more time, I'd put you in your ducking place. Now get the duck over here and ducking help me. M, I don't work here, not to mention it seems you're an insufferable prick. Go duck yourself. I turned and started to walk away. B, do your ducking job. Bob grabbed my arm and swung me around again, getting 3 inches from my face and screaming, spitting, what the duck is wrong with you? You can't ducking talk to me like that. At this point, Bob made his worst mistake. He knotted up his hand in my turquoise top and raised his other hand like he was going to slap me. At that point, I'd had enough of Bob. I need to mention here that I spent part of my time in the court doing hand-to-hand instruction. So Bob and I do for a couple of seconds and then on the way down, the side of Bob's face hit the edge of the bottommost shelf and laid his cheek open pretty good. I had my knee in his back and his arm torqued up so he wasn't going anywhere. Due to all the noise, Bob screaming, hitting the shelf, etc., there were several people looking to see what happened. Including a store associate and my so. I don't remember this part, probably from the adrenaline, but my so swears I told Bob to stop moving so I don't have to hurt him any further. Nor do I remember asking for someone to call the police as this a-hole tried to assault me. Police arrive, I release Bob. I get handcuffed. EMT tries to fix Bob's face. Arguing ensues. Bob claims I attacked him. Claims I'm faking being deaf. My so asks the police to check the security footage. They do. Bob's arrested and eventually charged with assault. I have to go and fill out a statement, but I'm let go. Bob was found guilty of assault. Didn't see Bob again until yesterday. He was older, heavier and didn't have the expensive clothes or jewelry this time. I just waved bye-bye as he ran away. It seems that sometimes you really can't teach old dogs new tricks. The next story is titled, Lady Lost Her Mind Cause I Wouldn't Clean Her Mat Part 2, so me and my mum go to the gym. The moment we step in I noticed something was off. For one, the owner was there at the desk talking with Mike. When Mike saw us he waved us over. Owner, Mrs. and Miss Redacted, right? We nod. Oh, I heard from Pete, front desk kid, and Mike you had an encounter with another customer last week? Again we nod. He sighs and grabs a paper. I'm sorry that happened, but here is the issue. We don't have pictures with our IDs, so we don't know for sure who was the woman. This is a list of people who swiped in around the time Peter saw her come in. Can you tell me if you recognize her name? I take the paper but shake my head. Me, I'm sorry but we didn't exchange names. The owner nodded. Oh, well here is what we are going to do. Pete isn't here today, so I'm going to sit in on your class. If she comes in Mike will point her out and I'll talk to her. I promise she will not interact with either of you. Mum, good, I don't want her near Nancy. We all nod in agreement and head upstairs where the class was. For the first 15 minutes everything is going well. All you could think about was the burning in my legs. Then she walks in. Same as before, she looks around the room. We lock eyes for a second and I see her scowl, before she grabs a mat. Mike sees her and nods to the owner. He begins to walk over to her but she has already got a mat and is pushing people's stuff aside. She is close to me but she isn't pushing my stuff. My mum is playing guard dog and moved her stuff a bit forward so she couldn't look at me. He taps her shoulder. And looks like he asked her to walk out with him. She turns and looks towards us. Probably to glare. But like I said, there is a mother of a wall between me and her. See what I did there? The lady then marches out. I'm gonna be honest, there was a window I could see them talking through, so my workout went at the window. At first the conversation seemed relaxed, very quickly. There was yelling and pointing at me exact. Mike turned up the music to no distract everyone else. But the die had been cast. She is screaming now and I can't hear everything but unfair and idiot. The owner seems calm but it's clear he is over it. This continues for a bit and then Mike steps out. At this point the whole class is watching this. Mike she trying to calm her down and then she is just yelling at both of them. After a few minutes she calms down. Mike relaxes and she points inside again. Mike goes to the door but she marches past him and back in to grab her water bottle. She leaves the mat. Surprise, surprise. She picks it up and turns to leave, then stops and marches straight up to me. Before she can get to close, my mum steps between us. I love my mum but she is 5'2" and almost 60. This lady looked older but neither woman should be squaring off. This lady is looking at my mother. And then she looks at me. Mike and the owner have now run into the room. Oh, ma'am, it's time to leave. L, why not her? Why just me? Oh, she isn't screaming, ma'am. L, but it's her fault. She could have said she didn't work here. So just a quick thing, I have anxiety. And I was freaking out at this point. I could feel the panic attack coming. Mum, walk away, now. She hasn't moved. Except to get in the way. Both Mike and the owner are trying really hard not to touch her, but Mike steps in front on my mum and begin herding her out the door. That's when we hear it. The sound of a slap. She has slapped Mike. Everyone is quiet. The owner regains his composure. And then it goes down. All right, I'm calling the cops. We have your information and you assaulted my employee. You can leave or wait for the cops, but you will not be coming back here again. She is clearly panicked from what I can see. Mum has not moved. I'm calling my lawyer. ANS begins rattling off. Mike looks around. All right guys, sorry to cut things short but class is over. Please clear the area, I'll take care of the gear. My mum herds me away and the lady and I lock eyes. Isn't she leaving, and then me and my mum book it. We go downstairs and my mum leaves her number in case the owner needs it. All the other members are gossiping about it as we leave. In the car, when things calmed down, my panic attack took a bad turn and I have been hanging out at my parents' house till I can go home. Logically I know it's over, but I still hope I won't see that lady again. The next story is titled, Pulling Your Phone Out When You're Working is Against Company Policy. Lady, I'm 14. A bit of context, this was back in January of this year. I had just turned 14. The funny thing is my birthday is on January 1st. The amount of people with my birthday. You could probably count them on your hands. I think at this point I was 5'11" with a visible beard. I had people mistake me most of the time for a 16 or 17-year-old. Now my birthday had just passed, my parents are not the best with presents, so they just gave me money. So I went on the weekend to chill with my friend. It was like 12 p.m, we went out to eat, and my friend started talking about how he wished he could get a PC. Now me and him are close, I go to his house most days of the week. 3 to 4 times. Sometimes I stay over, we're basically brothers. I call his parents auntie and uncle. Same with him. He comes to my house, stays. We even have rooms in each other's houses. Now, he was born 4 days after me. I really wanted to get him something really nice. So he said, let's go chill at my house. So I call an Uber, not to his house. It was to PC World. We get halfway there and he clocks what is happening. He says this isn't the way to my house. I assure him that we are going to do something very fun. Then he sees PC World and he asks, why are we here? I tell him it's an early birthday present. I had to give it to him early as I couldn't go on a school day. So I tell him, get anything you want. He goes mad, he tries to reject, but we all know how that turns out. So we are both in the shop and I recommend him something and tell him where it is. He goes to get it, I hear a lady clearing her throat. I turn around and she asks me where something is. I say I don't know. I then turn around assuming that was the end of that. She then starts ranting about how I need to follow company policy and not pull out my phone when talking to customers. The next thing she did shocked me. She lunged and grabbed my arm. Now the human reaction is to push her off. Now I'm 5'11" and she was around 5'5" at most, and she went flying into the PCs. There was a loud alarm that went off, one monitor fell on the floor and it smashed. Security came running to the scene. So did my friend. Now my friend is a little bit scared of confrontation, so he didn't do anything. I think he was more scared than me. She was screaming about how I assaulted her and that I pulled my phone out. She said I worked there. However, the manager shut her down instantly. It was very funny. I think the police got called in the mayhem. They then took both of our stories and started giving me dirty looks. They told me to call my parents, but I refused as I didn't want to drag them into it. But eventually the footage came and it was proven that she grabbed me first and I pushed her off. Eventually I had to give my name, but I was free to leave. The police did contact my parents. The good thing was the manager gave us a 20% discount. So that was good. The next story is titled, The Pizza Place Printed My Phone Number on Their Coupons. I lived in a small town and my house had really bad cell phone coverage at the time, so I still had a landline for the house, complete with an answering machine. One day I come home to find several phone calls for a regional pizza restaurant on my answering machine. I quickly find that they had printed these mass junk mail flyers with some pretty decent discounts, and my phone number. It was a pretty simple mistake. My phone number was XXXXXX4442 and theirs was 4422. I called the pizza place and told them what happened. The manager was nice, and told me he had nothing to do with it, that the corporate office made them up, but he would call them and try to work out a fix. That night I probably got 80 phone calls. I changed the outgoing message on my answering machine to give callers the correct number. More than half the calls I got still left me their pizza order. Who calls for pizza and expects to leave their order on an answering machine? That town has more dumb people than I thought possible, and I already had a low opinion to begin with. This went on for almost 2 weeks. I kept calling the restaurant, and the manager kept telling me they can't get a hold of anyone who can do anything. Finally, I'd had enough when a snowstorm blows through town and the pizza orders go up. Snowy days seem to be busy for food delivery. I start taking orders, writing them down as accurately as I can, and forwarding them to the pizza place through the number listed on their website for home office. At the time, if you called that number after hours, the robot that answered gave you a list of extensions, and eventually I found the one for VP Marketing. I wanted President, but meh, close enough. Once I found the extension, I forwarded every call for them I got, like this. Hello, this is Airborne Chaos again. I have an order for 1 extra large Goliath pizza, 1 order of cheese sticks, and a bottle of Sprite to be delivered to John Dow at 244 High Street, Smalltown. His credit card number is insert credit card details here, and his phone number is phone number. I really hope you can help me get these people their food. This seems to be pretty inefficient. Thanks. I made at least 20 calls like that. I don't remember the exact number, but it wasn't as many as I thought it would be when I made the plan. Nevertheless, the next morning I got a call from the company president. They paid my phone bill for a year, minus long distance, to buy my phone number from me. Honestly, they didn't need to pay my phone bill for a year, just cover the cost of changing the number. But they offered. The next story is titled, Woman Stops Me at Walmart on My Day Off, and I Throw Up on Her. So I've worked at Walmart for 3 years, and I never experienced any of the rude customers or general craziness associated with Walmart. Well, it's my day off and I happened to get sick to my stomach. I had already thrown up twice, so my mum decided to take me to Walmart to get the things that I need to get better. She insisted that I just stay in bed while she gets the things, but she often got the wrong things, so I decided to go to get them myself. Big mistake. When we arrived, we started to get our things and tried to get out as fast as possible since I was starting to feel really bad. When we were on our way to the checkout, this woman stops us. I recognized her since she was there the day before when I was working. She started to ask me about stuff, and I have to tell her that I wasn't working today. She huffed and said, "You can still help me out, all I want to know is where the dog food is." I point at the direction of the dog food and tried to get out of there because my stomach was starting to hurt. She stops me again and says, "I already looked over there, and I couldn't find it. Just come show me." My mum tells that lady that I'm sick and that I don't have time to go with her, and just finds somebody else to help her. She tells my mum to shut up and looks back at me and says, "It'll just be a few minutes, come on and help me find it." My mum tells this woman to back off and leave me alone, but the woman is insistent that I help her. Just then it feels like somebody had grabbed my stomach and started squeezing it, and I started to throw up. Unfortunately for the lady, I had been facing her and threw up all over her pants and shoes. She screamed, but it wasn't stopping and I kept going. She had backed up after I had started, and was screaming for a manager. My mum was holding me while I tried to stop, but the pain in my stomach was too much and I just kept going. One of the cashiers saw what was going on and immediately radioed for a manager and custodian. One of the managers comes over and sees the mess, and the lady is crying to him about how I puked all over her. My mum tells him that I was trying to leave, but the lady wouldn't let me. The manager takes her to the back, and the cashier, whom I'm friends with, takes me outside and sits with me while my mum goes to pay for the stuff. I honestly didn't mean to throw up on her, but as soon as it started coming up, I couldn't stop it. I feel bad for the custodian who has to clean up my throw up, and I feel bad for the lady since I hate throwing up and can only imagine how it feels to have someone throw up on you. I'm also dreading the day I have to go back, since I know that this story is going speed like wildfire. Surprisingly enough, the lady ended up admitting that it was her fault since she kept me there when I clearly needed to get out of there. Everything is okay now, but man, was that the most embarrassing moment of my life. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.